What's going on? It's been a day for me. It's been a heck of a day. Yeah, stepped on a piece of glass, which is fun. Took a long time to fish it out, which is even more fun. And now, we have... we have a Rancor announcement, which I even mentioned in the title. It's almost non-news to me. Which, by the way, they said it's dropping today. This is like supposed to be update time, so I don't know if we're just gonna get blindsided. There was no update warning, so I'm just gonna trust that an update isn't about to drop on my head. But yeah, there's a new Rancor raid, and it requires Relic 5 units to even go in. And they said it was a flat reward structure, and I don't think CG knows what flat rewards means. Because the top rank gets 11, and the bottom ranks get 1. It's, yeah, well, okay. If we're talking, like, flatness, the top guy only gets 2 1s, and the bottom one gets 1 1. So that's actually, like, a very close difference when you look at it objectively. It's like, that's, like, 1 difference total. There's no difference at all. Also, this season is just gonna be very odd. This is like the most stressful remod that I've done in a while, and I also think I don't like how it the end results. So going into this season, we have 3 new teams. Not exactly like perfected teams, because doing 3 teams at a time is kind of insane. But I do, you know, I essentially took all of my Sith Eternal Emperor hoarded gear for the most part, and then just did the thing that I wanted to do, which is just make 3 really good, I think, B teams. So I'm just gonna kick on over here for a second. This is most of the damage dealt in our favorites so far. Boba isn't exactly hit yet, but if I just stroll into squads here, if you've been watching the channel for a while now, you know we didn't have a bounty hunter team. Mon Mothma was, like, kind of adorable. It was just, like, the JML requirements of, like, Wedge Biggs plus Lando plus, like, I think it was, like, a Gear 12 Baze, and I was just like, yeah, go get him, team. And then I did pick up the 7-star Piet from Sith Eternal Emperor requirements. Haven't really given this team anything else. It's just kind of like we're just kind of pushing Empire off to the side for now. Also, I don't even know how much else this team really needs. I feel like this would be like an everything or nothing. Boba not being Gear 13 also kind of an issue. And Wedge in this last slot isn't terrible, don't get me wrong, but isn't like ideal for the matchups I intend to use him in. It's just, CG has told us we have Beskar Mando coming next week. So I was already kind of just like, okay, we'll kind of park for now. We'll just see how the season feels. This season is going to be a lot of experimentation. Honestly, just call it limit testing, right? I think there will be fails. Just to sort of set the stage a little bit. And we also have a fairly good opponent today, potentially, to get us some of that. I should probably go back to the matchup screen first. This guy has some pretty good mods to contest us here. So, you're not going the K2 So route? Listen, alright, we got a clash in chat here. We got some beef. Clash. Okay, so first off, no, I'm not gearing Rogue One. That is pretty much never going to happen. If I'm gonna gear, like, okay, so Cassian I do actually think is a worthwhile pickup, but I am honestly almost surprised he doesn't have them at Relic 8. The dude needs 4 golden eyeballs. And let's see if I can demonstrate here. How should I go about this? Do I look like I can make a Cassian right now to you? Which, by the way, is also heavily contested by a lot of other people in this gearing list. So I just don't think Zetas are that expensive anymore. And I've even missed, like, a fair amount of ship arena payouts in the last month or 2. And, like, I'm still sitting at, like, 4 parked. Which, like, I do think if we get, like, Beskar Mando Journey, then I'm technically back down to 1. But anyway, if we're just gonna address the elephant in the room, I think Hothorpal Scout is a pretty good character for Mon Mothma, but a 40% proc chance in itself isn't doing a whole lot. I see, for Mon Mothma, I see Pow and Scout as like the dynamic duo. I think Pow without Scout isn't that interesting, and I think Scout without Pow isn't that interesting. I mean, you could do worse, but like they ping pong off of each other, right? Because Pow, giving yourself like this button itself isn't that good, right? You're combining this. Let's say you're giving yourself like 70% turn meter, but what gear Kara? They're all relic 3. I went a little bit ham on Django, but honestly, even in just like my extremely unofficial testing, Django's pretty fucking fun, guys. I clocked this team to do a turn meter setup, and then Django was just killing people. And I mean, it was like, you know, mod battles, right? So I'm not exactly. Not saying I don't not judge you. I mean, listen. So I guess I would say, like, overall, like, if I was going to say my favorite, like, draft version of this team, it would probably honestly just look like this. Do I even have him unlocked? Okay, yeah. Have a hyperdrive bundle version of him. This is probably, like, the most stabilized version, I would say. Maybe a little bit iffy on damage. I mean, basically, you're looking at either Wedge for damage or Cassian for control. And this team could use some extra control, and I think Cassian, for what the matchups I tend to use them in, Cassian would feel better, but we have a Relic 3 Wedge anyway from JML requirements, so yeah, this is kind of just the team we're on right now. Yeah, Clash, I'm not even necessarily on the K2 hate train. I mean, Kara pretty damn good, though, at least in this team. Right, it's like, because Kara, you're essentially just... I see Kara as closing out the loop. Like, I don't even have her revives to keep in mind, because I don't think we're ever going to need it. Like, if she died, Mon Mothma is just going to be able to bring her back. But what we're working with here instead is... This is fairly low cooldown, on top of we have more turn meter expression here. So you could almost call this a dynamic trio. It's not quite tight enough, I think, to really make that argument, but it's close, right? Because, like, the further ahead Kara gets, the further behind she's going to push the enemy team while this is still looping. I don't know. I tried this in, like, the Galactic Challenge. So, this is so stupid. I went into that last Galactic Challenge on, like, Tier 7. Completely unmodded team, just said, like, we do not see your team. Oh, shoot, right. Good point. Yeah, all Relic 3, Mon Mothma Relic 5, pretty much just sitting at the minimums. But yeah. Like, I took them into Galactic Challenge, like, still unmodded, and, like, Mon Mothma had trash on, and, like, of course they got rolled. And then I gave Kara, like, fastest set, and they just completely ran away with the battle. What's up, Quiet Storm? Okay, if we went into a battle, we would have gotten completely blindsided by this. We had no update warning. Woo. Good stuff, CG. There's a new client available. Oh, thanks. I guess we're just back here. Okay. While this is happening. He has a pretty good amount of mods. I'm still ahead there, but, I mean, 925 plus is a lot more than I see most people having, so absolutely more power to him. He's got pretty well distributed as well. Yeah, this was, I think, the most stressful remod that I think I've ever done. There was an update an hour ago saying updated 2315. Yeah, Flavor, I never saw that. Straight up. This remod was just ridiculously stressful. Like, we had like 3 teams to reprioritize, and then on top of that, like, a lot of new pretty solid mods to throw around, which I know is like the most like first world problem, whatever thing to complain about, but it honestly really was, I think, the hardest remod I think I've ever done, and I don't think I did well either. Within 5 minutes of GAC starting, both my Darth Revan, which had like a huge amount of speed budget on it, like not quite the 3v3 level, but I had like 344, 343. They were dead. Silas was dead. I'm pretty sure the dude just used gas and Grievous against them, and I probably could have seen that coming. But I think these 3 new teams are going to buy me room to put more on defense. I just don't quite know how I want that to look yet. yeah, overall I think this will be a good matchup. Pretty much everywhere on his mass history, even in 3v3 and back in the last 5v5 season as well. This dude tends to go fairly hard on defense, so I do think today will be some pretty good testing. Huh. What is this, like, next-gen art suddenly? Do get all bumpy. Do we get to see possible rewards? Full gear 12. Full gun, full eyeball. Full carb. Of course, I'm assuming full odds aren't great. So, oh, full gear 12 as well. I remember just reading this. No, I mean, like, this is like... But this is just, like, the full 30 piece, though, right? Yeah, this gear list is actually looking kind of spicy. I mean, of course, like, yeah. This is probably gonna be the greatest hits for most of our runs, but, like... Okay, this is actually kind of a wash. We don't... That's, like, a low roll. But, like, this is just a full stun gun here. Like, we don't really see stun gun salvage, I don't think. This is just like a prototype. Okay, here we go. But interesting. Like a full-blown like a card plus prototype or just the prototype. This, don't really want that. Huh. I mean, it's tempting, right? Like this is just like a full-blown Kylo. Like, yeah, dude, sure. I assume it's not going to be that common, but if it was, this is actually pretty hype. Considering how much of a mess the rest of this thing is. I mean, at the very least, I feel like there's potential there. Because... Yes. Relic 5 plus characters only here. I'm in the way. How do I... Yeah. Relic 5 only in this event. And I like to strategically not give characters relics if I don't think they demand it. Even like Relic 5 is kind of the free-to-play cutoff, whatever that's worth. But that's also like it's the free-to-play cutoff for scavenger stuff. That is not the free-to-play cutoff for Cantina mats, though, right? Like there have been some days where I have just banked crystals instead of hitting the Cantina refreshes for signals because I was in an okay spot signal-wise, right? And now it's just like. Maybe regretting that. So am I going to hit it? I don't know what my guild's plan to do it is yet. I assume there's probably going to be a 24-hour join. Yeah, I just checked again. There isn't an announcement yet, so if you're here to see that, you know, of course, apologies. I assume it's going to be a mess anyway. The list of mechanics that we saw is like your team can't game turn emitter, your team gets stacking reduced damage, Rancor gains stacking 75% speed per 20% health missing. Like, I fully expect my prediction for this is going to be if you ever played like early Heroic Sith Raid with like Phase 2 back in the day, and a guild that like wasn't super competitive, you were just kind of chucking teams at the wall of like 2%. And 2% was actually like a good spot, at least in the guild that I was in, which was honestly like not a great guild. But like, if you got a solid 2% run in, you were like, all right, I'm on like good track for top 10 right now. Like, just, I don't think it's quite gonna be 2% here, but I think just based on these mechanics, you're not really looking at. I would be shocked if we see a team able to beat a full phase, at least a full Rancor phase. I don't know. The first one might not be as bad, but I mean, it's also just a question of like. For all we know, it might still just have the same health pool as the original, which would actually be kind of interesting, right? Because suddenly it's like, you're not actually reaching for that much damage. You're just reaching for dealing with all of these extra mechanics. I don't know if that write-up mentioned his health pool either way. That could be kind of interesting. But yeah. It hasn't been launched yet. I don't think our leader has. It looks like we logged our daily tickets before collecting the freebies. That's maybe a missed opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what we're doing yet. We will know when we know. I mean, our reset just happened, so it was like a 1 hour gap from announcement to the guild being able to make a choice on it. Anyway, yeah, we're just focused on GAC for today. That is the plan. And I will stream the raid I guess whenever that's happening. I would assume it'll be tomorrow. How long do I think it'll take to earn the 180k tickets? Well, you're working in increments of 30k if you're in a competitive guild. So, I mean, that's one every 6 days, right? We're basically running one a week, which is actually pretty low. The alright salvage piece looks slightly fine. Wait, can we make them? They said it was raid only. Oh, right, there's two. They said we need 20 of these, right? And this, I mean, it's 30 for this, so it's the same conversion rate, so there's no, like, full craft freebie. The alright salvage piece looks slightly fine? I don't know if I agree with that. We are 1, 2, 3 full pieces. Okay, so let's say 5 full gold salvage of the gear 12 to get 1. We have 560 bayonets? Okay. Okay. Look, maybe it's just me. I don't know. I mean, that is the thing. I am a young player, so, like, I wasn't there for early Heroic Sith raid. I wasn't there for the early, like, Gear 12 plus, or Gear 12 normal piece pre-crafts back when GAC was still young. Or when Heroic Sith raid was still young and just getting those like crazy. I don't know if I just missed that stage of the game and it puts me behind. Anyway. So yeah, opponent just went for a Meteor Rush, and by calculating his ground banners, he was looking at like a 57 average. He posted double GL, which I was expecting. I did... I don't know if I can see it or show it. Yeah, I can't click on the dead team. I wanted to try to, like, just give it one last hurrah this season to see, like, what would it feel like to just give... I just run fast Malak again, right? We had 344 here, 343 here. You know, not as fast as I had them in 3v3, but we have other speed to be using elsewhere, so I wanted to try to be a little bit responsible here. CLS did pretty well the last 5v5 season. I'm pretty sure he just got rolled by Grievous, because within 5 minutes of this starting, these two teams were already pretty much dead. So, yeah. We're looking at this here. Which, I mean, he probably just held BSF for like a EP BSF float. His BSF was only actually like 274. So, like, in a Grievous type situation, that's a little bit slower than you'd like, potentially. So, this leads us to the whole point of today, which is we could just guess this Darth Revan team. It's probably what he did with my team. It's probably the responsible decision if we're trying to just get through this zone. And there will probably be some teams that would be extremely friendly for my 3 new teams. But if we're going to do some actual limit testing here, if we're going to get used to these new teams, which honestly, again, aren't exactly like 100%. I mean, this is fine for some matchups, although we would prefer to have a Cassian draft against Malak here. Bounty Hunters could also very easily have had this matchup, but they are missing... Like, if we were going to do this, we would have to take Boba out, because Boba would just cause a death mark on Bosk. And honestly, that might even be true for Grief as well. I'm not sure. I think Mon Mothma will get to Malak very easily, and then from there it's a question of... Wait, is it even true? I mean, no BSF, so Revan's health pool isn't that bad, right? Protection as well. A real man used cup. I don't even think I have him unlocked, my guy. You can buy 1.5 R8s. What are you talking about? Oh, jeez. Wait, this is 1.5 though, right? This is half. This is literally just half of one. I'm pretty sure. They said it was 20 per. Am I crazy? I'm pretty sure. No, where's the news? 3 per. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, for the low cost of $100, you could relic one character. Actually, okay, no, I'm curious. What's the full crafts cost while we're here then? Ray is probably the one who would be most interested in this conversation. Is it even true, though? 20 Zinbiddles, that hurts a little bit. 45 blue. Oof. Oh wait, we can actually see the scaling. I didn't even think about this. So this is confirmed, right? This is just 6 to 7 is going to scale the same as 7 to 8, I'm pretty sure. We won 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 to... Why am I, like... I just need to see this visually. It's 45 to 60, and we went 25. So we're plus 5, I think, right? No. Yeah, it was 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, then 35, then 45. So it's like a level and a half here, basically. I mean, it's not bad. It's a decent health boost. Grievous would be pretty happy with this for the most part, I think, right? Not to say that Grievous is even, like... Grievous would be happy with this boost. Grievous, it wouldn't change his matchup tables at all, I would assume. Right? I don't think you magically suddenly with just one-shot AoE Night Sisters, you're still gonna drop to, like... ye old Talzin lead. I mean, okay. It's a little bit spicy. A level and a half is spicier than I was expecting. I honestly just thought it was going to be just 8 level. Alright. The main event. I don't know what the right call is here. Bounty Hunters, if I had them fully done, I think would be super happy here. But... what's the exact condition? Is it gaining or losing? When an enemy suffers a debuff, so at the start of every one of their turns. So the big concern that I see here would be... does the Quake GP increase also? I'm not sure if that scales linearly. R8 is like R6 to R7.5? Exactly. It doesn't? Yeah. Alright, I think we can use our bounty hunters up north. This could result in a fail. But I want to get to know this team. So this could be at expense of just throwing today. Because this is pretty much be an auto efficiency loss. I kind of want to just... I want to feel it. I don't know. We're going to be looping. It's a Gear 12 Marauder, so he's not punishing us that hard either. Alright, they went for Wedge. That I was expecting. This Kara turn could probably just be on basic instead of AoE. I think that's probably the correct choice here. I don't think we're gonna get a Dispel until Mon Mothma takes a turn, and that's a little bit yikes. Okay, the fear on these two cost us the Zeta for the moment. Or cost us the Kala. Alright, our Terminator's doing pretty solid now. Looks like HRS still not exactly hitting. Hi! Wedge has joined the party. Alright, we'll find it. Woo! That is more spice than I was expecting, to be honest. So, I feel like the big question of can we kill Malak is going to come down to how efficiently... Ooh, the shock is actually kind of ugly. To me, the question was how efficiently can we address Malak towards the end. Although... Mon Mothma getting feared. Maybe I just need a faster Mon Mothma. She doesn't have that many mods. Let's see. We have a revive. I don't think it's gonna hit that well here though. Yeah, she just kind of needs more. Oh, I didn't even think about the... I mean, we killed one. I guess that's worth locking in. Like, if we had HR Scout there, then we would be on a Marauder so much sooner. I mean, Bounty Hunters would get the kill here, but I would rather not use them at this point. The other option that I had left in the pocket as well that I want to try is, I think Nest could take this fight as well. I mean, let's see. What is... Small Mothma's rocking like 161 base with a speed set disadvantage over Revan. I could probably overinvest this guy for like the average speed. Like 339 is about the max I would expect to see on DR usually. Is it a fair thing to target though? We have Kara at like 320. Kara might actually be safer. Yeah, I mean, she naturally outspeeds Darth Revan. Yeah, maybe. Like, Kara gets the TM removal on Darth Revan teams before they get to go. Like, again, I don't know how often I would actually prefer to do this. I actually mostly just expected Mothma to be on Grievous duty. Guess you need K2 and Cass. I don't think K2 and Cass would have saved that matchup. I think it's more of a mod issue. They have pretty lazy modding. Did I just lose the match? I mean, probably. Again, I'm more focused on getting used to these teams this season, though. Like, yeah, I could have gassed them, but I don't, like... So my end goal for why I picked up these teams is because I want to be able to do value trades like BH versus DR, because this is going to open me up to be able to post a lot more on defense than I have been usually. And the only way I'm going to be able to do these is just to, like, start trying it and see, like, okay, what worked, what didn't. Granted, like, BH versus DR, like, if we just ran this, is like fairly straightforward. I think the Gear 12 Grief is a question. Boba wouldn't be able to come until he's Gear 13, but like, this is the big question to me right here. Okay, so this team actually would have been like, the one question mark in my head was when DR does AoE Lightning, how is Gear 12 Grief gonna hang? And dude is still parked at 100%. He has triple protection primary, but also we got a Relic 6 Jango, so this is probably just, yeah, one tap. Okay, so this is like, we're kind of in Deathmark land right now. And then, yeah, we're already reset. Yeah, I think BH would have been fairly fine here. Like, the Sith Trooper being alive here, we essentially just got hit by their whole normal rotation. Fair enough. Gear 12 Grief, kind of just chilling. Surprisingly. I mean, the DR didn't have, like, offense cross, but I don't think this was, like, enough to make a difference. The taunt isn't, like, super important here. We do kind of want to pick up the Annihilate at some point. Are we finishing this without using the Annihilate? If this rocket double hits, I think we just end. No, not actually. Okay. I think we max out banners with one more turn. We needed him to take one more turn. We didn't want... Yeah, alright. Love BH here. This is straight up. This is like my first time ever like driving this team. I like if I had Gear 13 Boba here, I'd actually probably just bench Grief and gone for it immediately. I was like, this is what he's running. Like, what's his actual... I just thought Grief might have been a Deathmark liability, but I guess ironically Django got closest. 6139 versus... So Django was actually the bigger death liability despite the Gear 12 to Gear 13. I mean, Grief does have a pretty stocky pool. Ideally, I would like this to be a protection primary. I just didn't have an extra floating around that I could give him. Oh, I forgot to give him this. He has enough speed to or for what he needs for what I expected BH to usually be doing. Okay. For this is also going to be an awkward one. I don't really like how I did my defense for today either. This, I feel like, would just be the safest feeling draft, just to try to avoid losing any first order. Could probably, let's go tank tech on Brute first, just in case JTR decides to do Mind Tricks first. She usually doesn't, but I've known JTR's AI to be finicky. Ideally, though, what I'm looking for is regen piece. Alright, now it should be fairly stable. We probably don't spend this for now. We probably don't even bother doing the AoE sweep. Just keep on picking up ultimate charge. Yeah, like... I think we can hit this. Both of them are about to take turns, so we're just going to get a good protection refill there. Seems fine. I've never really held SLK for offense in 5v5. Okay, now we do the AoE sweep because it's going to yank her out of defense immunity, or damage immunity. Yeah, I think I like taking the stun. Okay, ult is primed for when she's out. Just basic here. I don't think we really need to give weapon tech to anybody. Hux did get a little bit too squishy there. That's why I was avoiding weapon tech in general, though. I didn't think it was actually be that much damage yet. I thought we had like a good 2 more siphons before we were like entering that type of territory. That caught me off guard a little bit. It's actually almost a little bit too fast. I think we might have, or it's possible we were supposed to just be on basic there. Basic might have gotten Fu back to full. Okay, probably not. Yeah, I don't know. That was a huge damage nuke really quickly. Okay. I actually wasn't sure if it was gonna post CLS on defense. We have Grievous floated for it. This is just nest inting. This is just Nestland. I wasn't sure if she was going to get any action today either. Alright, so my other big question here, I did move Madiguard over to tanky modding. I still, like... I have a lot of fear. Wait. Oh, I'm in. I just psyched myself out so hard by sorting my droid there. I was like, what defense choice mistake did I just make? I still think it's scary if the team is just hulked out enough to be able to one-shot Magna Guard. Or at least I haven't been in that situation yet, but it sounds iffier. But I gave him a bit better modding, a bit more bulk modding. I took him off Tenacity. If I'm holding Magna Guard for offense, Tenacity isn't as relevant anyway. Yeah, defense modding. Normally, I feel like he would be down to like 20% at best. If we AoE here, we're kind of just feeding CLS Terminator. We're giving our own Terminator as well, though. I guess. This feels really weird without having gotten a GG activation yet. Okay, there we go. Now we are actually in business. I feel like if the AI actually just... Okay, that's... Our GG is modded for potency, and I feel like we haven't gotten any meaningful Terminator removals on that first one. We could possibly take out a Sealess kill right now. I think we're on a clock here, though. This next Chibi AoE is going to do some pretty bad damage. I'd really like to pick up this next target lock, but B1 AoE will do it anyway. I don't know if Grievous is going to have enough base damage to make this targeting worth it. Okay, he does. I wasn't sure if the Grievous basic would be enough to kill. I was healing up a B2, but I don't think B1 had enough stacks to like get Grievous back to max banners anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Like, every time that we've done this matchup so far has always been they just one-shot new to the start. And in that case, Grievous leads off with the AoE and you're just off to the races and it's fine. That is the matchup scenario that has me scared of, like, honestly, if the AI like never actively kills you and it just like keeps controlling you, keeps whittling everyone like equally low, then yeah, that felt fairly rough to me. Like, we had enough target lock success with the Grievous potency modding that it worked out fine, but 3 deaths, no protection banners. I don't even know if we have 3 full health left. I would also argue less than fine. So I wanted to use my bounty hunters here, which is why I didn't use them south, or I went for Mothma first. And at this point we have like 5-0 first opened up. The rest of this, I guess we're on, let's see. It's a really weird Kylo team, where like he doesn't even have Hux, so they don't really have an easy way to give zombie advantage. I don't know that we really need to like... This could kind of just be a trash team, I think, and get away with it. Do we, like... This could just be a classic. Like, he doesn't exist. He's kind of just floating. We don't have Yoda, though. Okay, one of them's gonna have to go. Okay, I guess it's just gonna be like JK or JKL against some other team. So I guess that means we steal Old Ben plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Shakti winner. Shakti's fine here. The one thing I hate about this, anytime that I'm going to be using Kyade Moody from now on, we would prefer to be in Makashi form, but the Makashi Taunt Omega that I decided to take is a bit tragic here. We can never Makashi safely again. Actually, that's not true. As long as he's ability blocked, we can. But it's going to last a long time. Can't we just kill Kylo here? Wait. I guess we do. Aren't we like obligated to like try to responsibly control Daka here along the way? All right, let's see if we can sneak it in. I wonder if she'll blow her heal just for him being low. That would actually be... Yeah, we're a crit being right now, so we're actually fairly okay with him basing us. We're still going to have this taunt, though, and we kind of need to get out of Makashi now. We kind of really don't want to be in Makashi anymore. Yeah! Give that to me. I wasn't sure if she would actually do it. We are on a clock that we need to start controlling her, but we have, like, Old Ben's mind tricks and stuff, right? Like, what do we care? Do we actually loop well enough, then? Okay, we're fine. It's the stun that's more worrisome. Alright, Zombie 8 does have an advantage now. We all have Taunt Ignore, though, so it straight up just does not matter. Ability block, ability block. Okay, so Makashi actually... Barris actually doing work. Alright, we need to start thinking banners. Shoxy's gonna get us a little bit back. Cam has no like issue at all getting banners back. We don't have that hard of a time stalling either. Okay, so I don't think we get a second heal off. I think we can our Old Ben top back off. I mean, so that's what? 57. With fairly junk Jedi team, that's not bad. I would say it's kind of a weird... Like, SLK NS, not that out of the ordinary. SLK NS with these two is kind of inting. I am 501st would blast them. M Troopers could kind of just take this too, though. I think 298, so 328. I think my Imp Troopers could take this. I don't know. I don't think this Django, like, I think he's on damage sets. Is it time? For better or worse, I have both my bounty hunters and my Imp Troopers clocked to 334. Which is probably too many eggs in one speed basket, but I mean, we've got Boba as a starting hook. It is a tenacity nest. She's only gear 12 though. And she's on a health cross instead of tenacity. It's possible Nest could bully out some of our gear 12 with counterattacks. We'll see. Alright, Boba so graciously giving us the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, Boba. I also appreciate this team just patiently waiting for a chance to ever potentially go. This is maybe the painful part. We don't exactly control our TM gain flow. We can't actually chill. I don't have the days data. Alright. I mean, extremely clean into a little bit of an awkward finish. DT would have... I don't think my DT's actually on Bonesy modding for this lock. Actually, he still is, magically. He might... Yeah, 225. He's been on these mods for, I think, over like 14 months and hasn't just never used them. When do you got, my guy? Not really. Okay, there's a reason why he's been sitting on them. Yeah, they probably could have run DT. Just would have been cleaner nest control. God, yeah, we have so much left now. I was considering trying Bounty Hunters on defense today, and I think after this, I feel like Bounty Hunters were the MVP. I've got like a 325 car or something. It's possible that Mon Mothma on defense would have been the better feeling play here. I mean, my GAC history shows CLS on defense, so I just might not even see Grievous that much posted anymore. Ooh, that actually feels kind of bad. I mean, this current defense config, this is like floating a fair amount of power characters that feels kind of bad to be doing. I mean, maybe they could go with like Finley, but then you're just like, if you run that with Finley, you're showing that up front top, and that's like a lot of information to give someone, right? Would maybe be better than like Poe plus Scav plus, but I don't know. So I guess this is just like we're wasting Vader a nest. Wait, we're using nest here. Wait. Some team is getting cannibalized here. $55 drink. I do want to do a GC drinking game at some point. Drinking game or exercise game? Exercise game would probably be more appropriate. General Kenobi. Yeah, people really are just doing it for ships, huh? People really are just gonna give Bistan and Scour Rebel Pathfinder Relic 8 as like some of their first picks. push those for missed banner. That, or I was thinking like be on a treadmill and every missed banner is like, I don't know. I mean, you could say like 0.1 miles per hour. Depending on the treadmill though, that's, well, I say maybe like 0.2 per missed banner, or 0.3. If it's a walking treadmill, probably 0.2. I don't know. I mean, if we went with Bounty Hunters first, then we would have been floating Mon Mothma here too. Which is basically to say... Yeah, I think she might have a spot on defense from now on. I mean, most of the matchups that we get through the course of this should actually be fairly easier than what he posted. I mean, is that true though? Double GL... DR no BSF is actually kind of not really that spicy. And I don't know, this guy's actually like kind of weak, I think. Oh no, he posted CLS in rear, so that's decent. I feel like it's weaker than his history usually was. I mean, the fact that we're floating Vader probably has to mean as well that I could have posted double GL and just gone for Vader versus Rey. Why don't we have AoE? I don't remember using it. Alright. The dominoes should start falling here, I would say, fairly shortly. I think it's a little bit too early for the AoE. This never gets old to me. Just Biggs getting increasingly mad every time she counterattacks. Why did she get first in the guild chat? Not quite. Okay. There's the mop up. I always like, because of Cheer just feeding Nest so much, I always want to hope for like some huge AoE bomb. It never quite finishes that way though. Is this just... what team is this? Crew? Why not? Let's just build the Mega Team. Let's bring Titans back. Yeah, Zareth, I don't, like, straight up, I would rather not post Mon Mothma than post Mon Mothma Chase. Like, that's why I would post Lando in mine. Like, Lando Bays, just to specifically avoid Chirrut being in there. Like, I know Chirrut is supposed to block Traya, but you just set up Nest for a complete solo so easily. Why not? I'll just chuck all the Relic 7s in. God, I'm so used to just seeing advantage and, like, basically just seeing crit immunity now. I feel broken. I mean, I'd rather use the mark on Kylo. Of course you don't land it. Look. What? Wait, is vulnerable a new icon? I'm not crazy here, right? Do we have patch notes? This might actually just have been mentioned in the patch notes. Content update. Fixed issue with vulnerable debuff using the incorrect icon? Wait, what was... Now I don't even remember what it looked like before. I don't remember it looking bad, though. Wait. Yeah, vulnerable was just, like... I thought vulnerable felt fairly intuitive. Like, what is... It was just like an opposite community, right? Yeah, what? What was wrong with it? The old version was better. Tank now simmable. Neat. So far, fix an issue where droids under the effect of for the droids would not be defeated by Devour. Sure. Oh, they fixed gas against Eternal Emperor. I'd actually been abusing that a little bit. I did notice that, and it actually was kind of nice too. Wait, why is this called a known issue? It totally mentions Relic 5 requirements. Weird. Okay. I mean, the patch is just entirely the challenge Rancor looks like. There's not a whole lot of anything else to write home about. I'm gonna put Kara with my mouth for two reasons. One, she's good in that comp, I agree. Two, her animations take forever. Yeah, I mean, that was the whole elevator pitch on Kara Pow's Scout originally, was just how long they Terminator trained and how long her animation took. Which is, I mean, she's repping 315 this week, which wasn't, that was, again, like a speed threshold mostly targeted towards Grievous. Like, if I want her to be on defense, I think maybe same for Bounty Hunters, I think I'd take this off. Take this off, take this off. I mean, that was a lot of speed budget that probably just got eaten by a gas team today. Like, if they go on defense, it's probably just going to be a gas either way, so... Alright, what are we looking at here? Not a Bistan man. We're almost the exact same defense. The only difference here is that he actually posts HT with Holdo. Is it gonna be annoying at all? Can't we just Malevolence chew through the HT fairly quickly and waltz out of here? I think so. $100 to get alright? Yeah, it's you are paying an extreme premium to like slightly increase somebody's stats. I mean, whatever, right? It's like, it's for the exclusivity, I suppose. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be quite reaching for that. I still think Ebon Hawk is probably a good bring here. I don't know if we really need anything beyond that. I actually don't really mind this stun. I kind of want Houndstooth to go first so it loses tenacity. Or we could just, you know, miss. forgot about the tenacity up. That's... Most orders can't be copied or resisted. Well, if you say so. Who am I to disagree? I actually didn't know that. I like never see tenacity up in ships. I like honestly for a second there, I thought we were just gonna have to wait a full cycle until Ebon Hawk could come out and strip it away. Alright. There go my banners. But that was pretty much always gonna happen with. I mean, that's the one downside of Malevolence versus Millennium Falcon. But like whatever, right? Please kill. These breach counterattacks are gonna do a little bit more damage than I think we can keep up with. Okay, this, like... the evasion in the Holdo fleet. The fact that they have evasion up non-stop. It's like, I'm getting like non-flashbacks to fighting TIE Fighter Pilot. I mean, at least they don't feed their captured up turn meter, but honestly, they might as well. Let's just cut out the middleman here and bring that meta back. Miss. No? Alright, next basic should take it. Yeah. I mean, 62 for how much damage we took and, like, no full protection or anything. Doesn't actually sound as bad as I expected. I was expecting something 50s. $62 drink. Not legitimate. Alright, we're still on, I think, basic HMF. I'm still not sure if I like breaching, potentially causing problems. Okay, resist is actually not bad here. Resist is probably ideal. So... basic? Ooh. Spicy. And now we have the AoE, although he did just get healed, so it's not actually gonna... like, Anakin AoE won't actually do that much for us here. We're probably just basic and finish. Isn't he, like, about to reestablish? If we don't one-shot, he might heal. Okay. Not bad. 64 I'll take. What is that, a 64 drink too? I mean, what? God, ships would be like... you lose so many from max. Like, there has to be, like, a neutral baseline for a drinking game, right? Like, even if you say, like, 68, I think, would be acceptable. If we're counting from 72, though, that would be... I mean, whatever, you do ships last, so actually... it's maybe... but, like, okay... so for a drinking game, you would have to set 60 as the baseline, right? So how would that work for, like, a 63 Nest solo, though? I mean, you can't undrink. Well, you can. I don't think Twitch allows you to do it. 65 is neutral acceptable point? I would agree. Like, there's some degree of attrition that you can't really help in ships, right? So, like, is... whatever, like, is 68 the theoretical max? Yes. You're gonna have to go through some special means to get to it. Yeah, I mean, takeaways. I think if Kara was gonna be able to, or if Mon Mothma was gonna be able to handle this, I think we need specialized Kara mods. Either just go ahead and give her like her and Revan set, because I think I'm definitely off of the Rivet train full sail now. That or just bounty hunters felt ridiculously safe, even with a gear 12 character. I thought the gear 12 character was gonna be like suicide, but if anything, I think I probably need to take this bad boy. I mean, he kind of needs to be on a potency primary, but like, we need to sneak in some extra stats here, because if anyone was gonna ruin that fight, it didn't end up being Grief, somehow magically. Actually, maybe this should be, if we're gonna mod for anti-BH, I mean, just in general though, this is probably the safest call. We probably ought to be taking protection primary, A, because we're getting shocked, but B, because almost all of the combat is just about our protection, right? And like, for whatever reason, I just don't have any good damage protection circles. Just straight up, that's just, they're all health. I'm not even joking here. Look at this. Good. Solid. Plenty good. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Plenty solid. Like, oh, no percent offense is kind of damning. Go rate protection. Absolute ghost town. But yeah, I think I'll probably just switch to this one. Whatever. I mean, it's a 4 roll 16, which is also pretty yikes. What's Zareth? Is that not a true quote? What's your true quote? What's your bar for quality? Is it like 67, 68? If you've got like Gauntlet or whatever, but Gauntlet, I don't even know if Gauntlet would like remax you. I mean, gain 30% mass protection if you're on an Empire fleet. That would technically count as getting some extra protection back. That could make up the difference, I guess. Higher end ships makes you happy. I agree. I'm 60. I got a 62 and a 64 today, and I am more than content with that. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, the loss today is kind of whatever to me. I want this season. I want to treat this season as like learn my roster and like get used to all the changes and find what feels good, and then I want to try to crush second season of 5v5, because I assume for now that we're just going to be on 2 5v5 seasons and then a 3v3. That just kind of seems to be the cadence, I think. Remember, your bar is higher this season. I'm still expecting better than that 12-0. What do you mean, sir? Better than 12? What are you saying? I have to start at alt now or something? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I basically see it as 2 options. Either I whale and like get these teams to the point that I know, like, I could go drop $50 and solve this issue real quickly, but I'm not really. A, I don't really do that. B, I don't really want to do that. C, there's a very possible chance that in 1 week Beskar Mando could be a bounty hunter, and I feel like Boba would be first on the chopping block potentially. Mostly just spitballing off of the fact that Django has burn. Queel seems to be establishing or setting up some possible burn synergies. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Same season Gargant's alright. Look, as far as I understand, Prime Force doesn't even have Relic 7 Gar Saxon, so I think you're setting your expectations a little bit high here. He's a fake fan. So next week, is that a commitment I hear? His Gar. Gotcha. I mean, let's see. Nest mopped. God, Grievous. This is only going to feed my paranoia. Grievous, up until now, has been clean-ish. This felt fairly ugly. And I actually gave my Grievous team a couple of relic levels in the offseason. They actually came into this stronger. Like, I gave B1 relic 5. I think I gave Magda. I took him from relic 1 to relic 3. And, like, he took that Han Blast fine. But, yeah. Like, look at this, too. B1 is actually on, like, pretty solid tank mod commitment. I mean, maybe the health ended up feeding the Exposes some extra damage. This is, like, God tier for the setup, though, I would say. Like, we do have some better defense mods floating around that I can maybe... Other than that, I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about CLS. It's entirely possible today that the dude overkilled as well. Like, if he just did JML here, and then he went ahead and did, like, Vader in the back. Oh well. We'll see. I think I'm gonna try... I almost want to pull DR off of defense. Or at the very least, I'm gonna need to try to make a setup that punishes gas being used. Because otherwise... it's so much speed commitment to just feed to an average 501st team. I don't think his 501st was like that insane. Yeah, like perfectly average speed hit 300 is like, that is a ridiculous value trade to give him my mods for his mods. So, oh well. I do think though this is kind of me talking myself into just giving these teams. I mean, what are we? We'll try to balance responsibly here. She kind of needs to be on this potency, though. I wouldn't mind keeping this. I mean, like, consider this for today. So, like, the one possible consideration was her base crit chance, 55%. So, like, if we did the TM removal grenade, but we don't even have to, honestly. If we did the TM removal grenade, we would have a 50-50 to fear Malik, and I probably wouldn't want to take that risk. What it would do, though, is it would just give POW Terminator. So we would just have to clock POW to cycle 20%, I think? Or is it... What's POW's exact wording? Because if we use basic on her turn... Yeah, it's 25%. Yeah, I mean... I think, like, if we take this setup today... There's maybe... So the one risky issue I would see here is, like, ultimately the win condition, I think, for that fight was Mon Mothma. It's the field promotion. Rebel Trooper comes out, has the Dispel on basic, and then we would be able to get around Sith Trooper. We would be relying a little bit on HRS basic there. We might only actually get 2 chances as well, which is a little bit scary. 2 40%, that's actually a pretty uncomfortable odds still. Yeah, I think it probably just has to be bounty hunters in that situation always. Remod for protection a little bit better, get off the health where we need it, or where we don't necessarily need it. Yeah, I'll take it. Alright. I don't know when we're doing Rancor. Probably tomorrow, I'd assume. I hope. It looks like yes. Wait, it's just open. This is open for testing, so I'm allowed to do this. Do not post any damage until further notice. Okay. I don't know if we make this. Problem is, I don't know when the coordinated attacks will begin. Let's just do like a baseline. Let's just do like without moving mods. Got it. Is there like actually a concern potentially that Rancor would just like... he's not gonna be able to one-shot us, right? I think we have full control over... Like, we can't airplane mode, but I think this ends... Like, we'll know when it's gonna end still. I think it's technically supposed to be this, right? So with SOK stacking, we actually kind of almost want to be... SOK I don't think will get affected by the negative damage ramp as long as he's in ult, so there's almost a call that we just need him to be cycling ult as much as possible. I guess I'm just gonna hover the X button this entire time because I don't know if we're just gonna magically. I don't know. Straight up, there's just I don't know. I mean, I assume we're still just controlling the side ads first. I mean, we can just wipe this out. It doesn't really... Yeah. So far, feeling okay. 0.3% health gone, but we haven't really ramped it yet. Interesting. Alright, we kind of need a taunt then. Alright, those basics just hurt. It's percent health damage that he does, so crew seems like the pretty natural drafts. And crew will counterattack, which will get us ult charge. Not really contributing a whole lot damage-wise. Yeah, it kind of probably has to be this route. It's possible we're supposed to just... Yeah, this death mark is perfectly fine as well. I think this seems okay. Crew seems like he'll just be chilling here for the most part. I mean, that's 1% gone. Okay, crew is still taking an absolute beating. This wasn't the bargain. Yo, can we... I want to try mixing in defense sets. Four GLs, 2% for each player. I mean, like, we're like 12 turns on the erase timer and already basically 2%. Alright, let's go full dedicated. I mean, the percent defense here, I think, still makes this probably the best. Probably better. The percent defense might actually land a little bit lower, though. I'm not sure. Sure. I thought the assigned percent HP immunity here. I mean, I guess we could probably just rip out officer and give crew like a regen piece. Could very easily happen here. I mean, I'm not sure crit avoid is the answer here. I guess I'm supposed to do a stream tag. Whatever. I guess we're just testing. Let's just keep going. Yeah, so I guess if we're going to be on defense, it has to just be one of these. Like this bit, that mass assists, we're chilling. So far it's just this basic seems like the pure terror. I mean, what if we leave it? Barris? Barris or what? I think officers kicked. That extra armor did absolutely nothing there. I don't got like 1% with SLK, and we got way more than that, and I haven't even moved mods. We got, wait, that's like 1% is just like our opening rotation. What? Excuse me? Look at this. Boom. 0.3. Done. We're almost there, lads. The problem is this tank tech feels really, really bad. Or the weapon tech. Like, maybe we could set it up for once. I think it'd be good for an all-in once we have Kylo in triple turn ults and we know that things are wrapping up soon. I think we could probably slip it in. Hux, good luck. I guess it is true though, though that now that we don't have officer. Am I crazy or was Deathmark actually just hitting for a lot there? With officer, I think we were probably supposed to do AoE second. Yeah, I don't think regen piece is proactive enough. I think Barris. Because from every hit that I've seen so far... Oh god, she has to be relic 5. She's 4. Am I really doing this? I've got 2 of these banked and 2 only. I don't... We've got Beskar Mando coming next week. I don't know if I'd do this just for Barris. Okay, so what would it be then? We need automatic sustainability that isn't contingent upon turns happening like regen pieces. Maybe Malik would actually be chilling here. We would be back on SLK lead instead, which would kind of kill some of our people sooner. But, like, as long as we hit the AoE. Ray Jaws and what? Do Jaws even accomplish that much in the raid though? You're waiting for the stream. Yeah, I wasn't sure when the guild was actually going to put it up. I'm glad it's available now. Just kind of flying blinds. I almost swapped a crew. Wait, if we're on Malik, we don't really need crew then. Like, this Deathmark should be fine, right? Like, both of these people are percent health resistant. We don't really need to be on double tank, but, like... I mean, this drain gives him nothing, right? Yeah. I mean, the fact that this is RNG hitting someone else kind of makes this feel like there's going to be an RNG component. Rated 612 million. Is it actually like that inflated? Alright, we gotta back out. I don't know that, like, I mean, maybe you're just supposed to say screw it, or maybe you're supposed to run something like zombie. I mean, zombie actually, wait, why wouldn't zombie work here? Zombie wouldn't work here because mine's gear 12. Again, an issue. But I mean, as long as we get zombie into advantage with the death loops, like, why? What stops zombie from working here? I feel like that would be a pretty natural place to go. If he dies once and then he gets 2 hits on other people, then that probably feels worse. Not the thermals. Yeah, it was. Thank you for mine. Chat room. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have it. But yeah, I feel like SLKNS actually sounds fairly good here. At least in terms of giving you a tank line that is kind of down to just chill with what they're doing. It might feel bad at first, but like once you get 1 HP zombie, as long as it dies and revives with advantage before the next targeting. I mean, probably couldn't taunt it 3 times to keep others alive. It's hard to say. I mean... okay. If we're just gonna build... I still think zombie sounds like the strongest prospect right now, but let's assume we're not on that. Is anyone light side actually percent HP resistance? That isn't the Galactic Legends. I'm assuming JML would actually feel fairly okay here. It would at least have to be lead, but... sure. My Jedi Ribbon, also not relic level 5. I'd probably even give it the first Master's Training over here as well. Honestly, I think Bakashi might feel pretty okay here. Look, go for it. Okay. I take it back. I do not like this Bakashi suddenly. I couldn't explain to you why, but I had this sneaking suspicion. We maybe... God, why did we have to take this taunt on again? It's caused so many more issues than it's helped so far. I knew this was coming too. And just, yeah, do it, dude. Alright. Well, it's gone. He's also gone as well. Oh, right, we can't even get protection back either. God, that taunt Omega. I mean, we can just leave him in Ataru, but that kind of kills my entire interest in bringing him in the first place. The reason to bring him in the first place is he's a really good surrogate Grandmaster Yoda. Or you just run both. Both is actually pretty good. Save all cleanses for that death mark ability. I mean, for the most part, it shouldn't actually really matter here, right? Like, if we only had this taunt, I don't think death mark... We can, like, try to see how much damage it's actually doing. But, like, percent HP resistance should, for the most part, I feel like, trivialize the death mark, right? Maybe it's just more base damage that you'd rather not be taking anyway, and that's entirely possible. $42k? Yeah, probably cleanse it. I mean, it's 120k extra, basically, that we took. Unsolicited. So let's see. There's not a whole lot of cleansing solutions that I have at Relic 5. Jacob would really help with that death mark. A lot of characters would really help. Barris would just automatically cleanse it whenever she took a turn. Would be extremely... Okay, we're not supposed to hit that button. We would have to, like, try to set up someone... We would have to, like, set up Hermit Yoda to go right after the death mark went to actually, like, get it off in good time. Versus against Hermit Yoda. She doesn't have to. She just has to take turns. Like, you can mod her for speed and effectively get the passive effects. And I do think just from... Like, Barris seems, like, fairly well positioned to just be useful at dealing with this. It's mostly just, she takes a turn, she heals, and the natural... extra sustain on Mighty Thrust. Plus, Luke will get permanent taunts fairly frequently from just this happening. Can this not be evaded, by the way? Stack can't be evaded, of course. Yeah, it's just so much time passed between, like, the actual chance to give Master's Training to JML. I don't know. I mean, there's no way in hell. What? Excuse you? Alright, I'm just making sure we're on the same page here that I'm not supposed to be. participating. 1.8 mil is that big a chunk? Yeah, I guess. September not really hitting here, and I would love to see. I'm not gonna be the person to be able to do it, but yeah, that's okay. Let's say probably has to be Zombie Daka, just because Daka's gonna have the best staying power to keep that engine rolling. And beyond that, I don't even know. Probably, I still think Red feels like a good draft here. Hux, I don't think is gonna hang. Hux, I feel like he's just gonna take a beating. I am maybe Crew. Crew would be able to counterattack, and the counterattacks would cause Red, which would just give you more ultimate TM engine. Like, obviously, the supporting cast here, I can't actually show. Imagine these pluses are just like Daka Zombie. Like, obviously, this would just be the Kylo show, but Zombie alone, I guess Crew, you would actually have to like try to get him off taunts, which would maybe be a little bit clunky. You would have to use his like twirl special, and even nah, he'd be stuck taunting. They don't necessarily have to be first order in that slot, but it would help. Gas is like 5% from what I've heard. What about... Probably we just don't have that many tools to support gas protection pool still. CG's like flirting with that territory, but it's in other factions where it's like automatic self-protection healers like IG-11. He's basically his protection Barris. If the goal is just to keep gas standing, you kind of just chuck in Bray, I assume. Also, the one tragic thing about this, like, not moving mods on them is, like, you would kind of just, you know what, just for the sake of... Let's make this boy fly. A speed he's never flown before, and never will again. I honestly never say never. 5.0 first is, like, one of the... I mean, I wouldn't call it a speed meta, but... a relic of a speed meta, speed-esque. 339. I actually thought I would get him faster. Actually, a little bit underwhelmed. Wait a minute. 26. Whatever. I assume this is just as fast as it'll go. All I care about here for the most part is just seeing how many Rex nukes we can get to. Of course, we're losing nuke damage by not bringing a clone, but we're probably getting nukes just by having this available. So this move is pretty much just dead, right? It still surprises me how squishy these side guys are. Like, Gasobi might just, yeah, just one-shots them. Okay, so we have the cleanse for Rex. That works out fairly well. Does this choice even matter? I don't know what our starting percent was, which is not great. Also, we don't have any healing support on Rey, which is not great. We're not a raid lead either, so she's just kind of going to be down at 25% purgatory for a while. Okay, first nuke. I think it's possible Shakti might hit here. We're like dropping a lot of clones though at this point. If we were doing Shakti plus Rey, because I was gonna say Shakti could give Rey healing support. She could. What is Star Meter disables? But I think Shakti swap should still work, right? I think like any swap is on the table, and I think Shakti constitutes a swap. Or isn't she Ridna's give them 100% Star Meter though? So she actually might not. He gains 100% Star Meter, so she actually wouldn't work. She doesn't constitute a real swap. Rey will just do 1 damage. Wait, is this counting every time it does? Like if it's doing triple moves, I guess Rey was already. Okay, that's pretty yikes. For whatever reason, in my naive mind, I was hoping that this was just going to be like every time that it hits 100% turn meter. But no. I mean, because the rage timer is counting down manually too, right? Yikes. I mean, Rey is keeping gas up. Like, pretty well. I guess have to give that credit, but... One base crit for 2. The good life. And then, yeah, now that Rey has run out of health, and we kind of just start dropping off on our ability to support gas. Keep him standing. So he got stuck on a taunt, even though gas was no longer like a legal target. The basic isn't doing there anyway. If we could get to ults. I mean, her ult doesn't do anything. Her ult would just be a defensive tool. It's actually possible that we were just supposed to save that for Topple. She does need some sort of, like, healing sustain, though. Like, this works for a little bit. With no TM, this should feel pretty bad. Yeah. The damage will be alright, but this team would like burn out real fast. I mean, who else? Who among us would actually help gas keep standing? I guess Watt. Am I really just gonna keep going back to the Watt train? I don't think Watt regen tech really functions in this scenario. And like Weapon Tech Rex is even on the table because of no TM gain. You can't regain protection. Yeah, true. I completely... Yeah, so it really is just Rey. Okay. Then I guess it kind of just has to be. Try Vandor. Vandor suffers from the same issue. Still a really nice feeling timing, I would say. And yeah, now we have a more, not infinite, but more sustainable Rey engine. And for the most part, I would say this should be able to go the full time. Like, we already know that this doesn't really do anything. I think we're just supposed to keep building purple. The Smasher's training doesn't matter. Are we giving 5 more damage here? Like, what? Like, the sad thing is this basic doesn't even, like, help lifesteal. Maybe I think we're just supposed to Hermidata basic. I think we're just supposed to keep it as a cleanse for the death mark whenever it comes up. Or that could just line up pretty well again. I mean, we're making progress. I don't know how much damage we've actually done here. Alright, but like, I think this keeps going, right? Like, we haven't even touched ultimate, and ultimate would like certainly help, but we also like just got the Rey health refill. This, I mean, I would have to check what percent we started at, but like, this seems okay, and like Rex Nuke will only keep getting better from here. Not to say that it's like, we're essentially cutting Rex Nuke potential in half, right? Because we're at half the clones that could be getting turns. But we're buying effective time that I don't think like a good gas mod set would even be able to buy. I could be wrong on that. That actually might be worth checking. It's just trying like a good, like I have pretty dang good dedicated gas mods, like tank gas from back in the day. I could just roll them on and see how that performs. But otherwise, yeah, like Rey purple protection, keeping gas going, character like Hermidata, keeping Rey going. Fairly simple engine. Let's see, second nuke, 1%, not a bad pickup. And like Whirlwind doesn't really care about her offense scaling down, so like it hits. In this case, I don't know if we're supposed to actually use this here. It's interesting. Gas damage doesn't really seem to be scaling down. I mean, I know that we have like gas lead, so we are racking up some extra offense to kind of counteract the stacking minus 5% offense, but I would still assume that our damage would be lower by now. I don't know if Rex has his backup, so this actually might be ult time. He totally had it. Like, we've never really had a time where the ult felt like a must, right? Which is also weird. Yeah, and like this should be a topple now because we use the ult instead of making some purple. Yeah, I'm not sure that you're ever really supposed to ult. Just period. Maybe like towards the end. Like maybe now if he happens to topple anyway, but okay. What was that starting from? We hit like 90%. I think it was starting from like 96-ish. 5.5. I mean, I'm not sure what that damage total was. It wasn't like something insane. Yeah, oh yeah. But like, basically what I'm saying here is like, Gas should be bleeding 15% offense per Gamgar turn. So the fact that I felt like we were kind of consistently just parking. I mean, yeah, that's true. I mean, this. Yeah, Rey's an attacker, right? So she's offense CDCC. But yeah, like Gas was kind of. Oh, him. Whatever. Let's see if Gas can make it without Rey. And bring back his old flame. I assume this is gonna go horribly, but honestly, it actually might not. I might go into Great Arena. It's like pure muscle memory. I still think like a flat 5-0 first draft isn't gonna feel great here, but it is at least gonna max out our defensive protection and just see like how long we can take a hit for. I would assume he might have jacked up armor shred though. Yeah. The Rey purple protection was kind of just carrying him there for sure. It's possible Grievous might be actually able to do okay here because I don't think the boss. Let's go back in and read. I think the boss has like a revive protection, so like GG Watt could maybe do okay. It says uses 3 abilities per turn. I don't know if that says the sort of each of his turns, but I'm pretty sure the clock is still counting it down by 1 per ability. Am I wrong? Oh, I'm totally wrong. Okay. So the triple basic isn't 15%. It's just 5. Can only use health, not offense. That and just like... Again, we're kind of gonna be relegated here, I think. But like for the most part, we have Watt as a revive engine, plus some extra, like it's protection book, which isn't really much to write home about, but we have like crit immunity. That'd be pretty good to work with. You know, Magna Guard can actually do fairly well for himself as well. L3 should get chipped out by Grievous eventually, but... And the biggest issue would be Watt can't bring her back. Yeah, man, I don't know. This Relic 5 limit just makes trying to test this feel like such a bummer. The stuff I think seems the most promising is the stuff I can't actually run right now. I still think SLK and S sounds like a no-brainer. SLK and S I bet Ghost and Rage Timer pretty easily, as long as the triple basic will stay on Zombie that whole time. Cut for the ult charge? I mean... Yeah, but it's just an issue of tank line. And specifically a tank line that, like, B1 can't heal L3. Right, so it just kind of falls apart a little bit. I mean, at the very least, I guess you wouldn't have to deal with Deathmark, but... That's, like... It's very optimistic. Oh, plus, doesn't Kylo actually tax? Wait, she didn't take any damage. Wait, why did you take no damage? Wait, what? Excuse me? I don't think it was a case of just she took damage and then got it back by taking a turn, because she was at half TM. Yeah. L3 just does not hang here. I guess I need to get out of this screen and actually look at like the characters I have but can't see. Who's on here? I mean, don't really care. JK are like kind of whatever. I mean, I wouldn't assume that like full-blown NS would be able to do that well. If it's NT lead especially, like A, he's got 75% tenacity, you could try to build away from that, but like... Yeah. Because like the moment you start landing Plague, you're feeding him like 30 to 45% turn meter per move. Think about IG11 and Quill here. I mean... IG11, I don't think they really have Dispel, right? Like IG11 with... Is it in Quill's kit? It probably is. Yeah, this clause IG11. Well, but you can't recover protection. Probably not super amazing then. Oh, there's soft cleansing. The biggest issue is like the basic just hammers you down unless you have a sustainable answer. At first, before I remembered you gonna get protection, I thought IG11 sounded fairly okay for that, but yeah, because of that. I mean, that's why so far, like, my favorite main ideas have been, I think Barris will probably hit more than she misses here. I think you run Barris with something like Crew. That probably should feel fairly stable. I think you would probably take about 30% of his health per Gamguard turn. Rey basically cheats because you do get to restore protection. She just has to do it herself, which means that she has to have some way to just keep healing constantly, because you're pretty much only ever using lifeblood. And yeah, of course, SLKNS is still my darling child. I would absolutely love to see footage of. Scoundrels never able to do anything in the raid. It's more just a question of like a stable core. Our SWAT team? Let's see. Blue Stack says no. What's up, Andy? Welcome, welcome. I mean, the thing that I'd be interested in, like the fact that there's so many can'ts. There's so many things you cannot do. Like, if Cure Lead counterattacks would give you protection region, I would be down. But because we can't gain protection back, then suddenly that feels a bit yikes as well. I mean, you're gonna crush us so hard with Scoundrels when you get the chance. You even realize? About that SWAT team. Yeah, that whole Relic 5. Pretend this is Kira. Kira's wearing a helmet today. And what about bonus protection from Young Han? Isn't that on like a 3 or 4 turn cooldown? Sir. Three, but doesn't this get 1 cooldown reduction? I forget. I don't think it does. I think it's just because he cycles his turn meter. Or cycles his speed here. I thought that Younghan had a cycle. I mean, I know, like, the speed ramp, yeah. But I could have sworn... Am I thinking Inlando? I'm probably thinking Inlando. Yes. Class is reaching far. I mean, it's more just a question of sustainability than anything. I mean, okay, like, let's say best case scenario here, right? I guess bringing back some LSTB flavor. If I was feeling generous, I would remod L3 to get guard. Actually, I guess you would kind of want Rey guarded. Rey guarded would actually get you... Because this won't actually heal Rey, right? Yeah. So, like, at the moment, Rey has no sustain. I think it probably has to be Carbonated there, pretty much always as the Barris replacement. Let's just do it. Let's just make L3 the most she's ever been. That was interesting. So because he's doing 3 moves at once, the fact that she had been hit and then he did Deathmark last, the order didn't matter. She still cleansed once the turn resolved. Her damage is so low already. I mean, for whatever it's worth, my nest is on tenacity modding, of course. Okay, I just got an idea. Here's a better surrogate. Let's use our young Han simulator tools here. But we can't even, we have to... If I put in Trey Elite, it would actually be cheating. She's gear 12. Like, literally just no fun allowed here. Who has protection up that I have at relic 5 or plus? I guess it is just Vandor, but you would have both. I don't think I have any. Straight up do not have any protection up sources. Okay, let's at least run it without lifeblood. Seems a lot of potential, I think. I don't think it'll get you more than like 3%-ish. Maybe 4 or 5 if you get like, you know, some good stacking damage. But like, let's view the difference on L3. I mean, okay, Photo Source, we didn't actually give L3 Master's Training this time. Why did she have to hitchhike? Whatever, we won't cast Lifeblood. Ray's just on basic for today. Go get him, kid. Nope, we're just on basic. So, this is my biggest concern with Vandor, right? Is if you happen to land some AoE RNG chip on him, like, A, you don't even gain protection back anyway, so his whole clause to regain prepared just breaks in this entire encounter, right? This thing on that team was insane. Because of Ray. Ray is carrying this. Like, if we're using Ray elsewhere, then like you can see what the difference is now, right? Like, hey, we'll use Hermageddon, whatever. Why not? Just to give this team extra help. He's there for the damage reduction. Yeah, but like, it's still like she's still like 2 or 3 turns in and she's already on the outs. With Barris, maybe. Yeah, you always kind of just need Barris. Already Jawas run to the top 50%. Don't have Jawas. Not yeah. Not gonna be happening here. And the fact that it can't be evaded means that setups potentially trying to go for like Foresight don't really achieve anything. JT early doesn't really achieve anything. Vader doesn't really tend to excel in, you know, less than 5. Vader wants as many people in front of him as he can get. Luke could maybe get, like, a decent amount of damage done just as like a slow full damage build counterattacker. I have Bastila to give him buffs though. Mr. Wizard, the problem is because there's no protection regen, Watt regen piece loses a lot of value here, and so you're looking at maybe like... I mean, the problem is I don't know if the regen piece even procs in between the triple basic. If it did, which is what I was hoping for, it didn't really seem to be though. That or we were just getting rolled hard enough that it didn't even matter. The problem is Luke lead ability, and he would have to go of his own volition. I guess his special will get us Heroes of Rice as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be his lead. Per turn, not per action. Yeah, that's my thinking as well. And we did confirm that the triple basic does count as just one turn. Even though it seems to be going extremely quickly. Yeah, I'm not sure. I still think SLK and S sounds sick. So much to test that if they have the sisters ready to go. I think that sounds like an easy gimme. With the only exception being if he can kill a one basic, like kill zombie in one basic and then get 2 hits on other people. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I can't really... Because I try to, like, only relic characters responsibly, I'm kind of just locked out of a lot of, I feel like, key pieces to this right now. Like, I guess I could just, like, relic 5 Barris. But I need to have these mats banked for whatever the heck is coming next week with Beskar Mando. So, not exactly the most intensive testing session, but... straight up, my hands are tied. Like, I do think Grievous still sounds potentially interesting. Like, GG Watt, there's still the issue of protection, but at the very least. And, like, I don't know how much crit chance the guard has, but with B1, with a CA arrow, with Watt, with Hots, giving the extra crit avoid, I believe, here. Yeah, 30%. So you're looking at about 100% crit avoid. You could either go that route, or again, you could just try to like slap in Barris's 5th. Just go GG B1 Watt Magna plus Barris. I think would sound perfectly fine there. Yeah, I mean, at least for the first phase. I don't know how much easier or worse Rancor is going to be here, but I mean, if the decision factor for top 10 or top 5 is going to be who was willing to gear their Jawas to Relic 5, that's a bit yikes. But I bet Kylo and S, or Kylo Zombie, could probably put up at least 10%. I'd be willing to bet. Well, I guess it really depends on how... I don't know how Siphon... So weird. I don't know how Siphon would actually, like, work against the wording on this. Like, he loses mastery, but the Siphon should be actively constantly pushing back against this, right? It wouldn't... Like, I guess it would be pushing back on the 15% offense loss, but you would have to fall behind on that eventually, I think. I don't know, It's really, really hard to project how that damage would change or not change over the course of that. Actually, yeah, someone just said SLK zombie DACA. Yeah, on the 30%. So it sounds like I was right on that, which is cool. I just can't do it. This sucks. This sucks so much. Alright, guys, yeah. I mean, most of the tools that I would like to try were just kind of paywalled out of, I guess, essentially. As annoying as it is to have to say that. Yeah, I mean, if you're in a position to be able to do it, I think easy recommendation, I don't think it'd be that hard to drive, would just be Zombie DACA plus 2 supporting characters plus Kylo lead. That seems pretty free. I don't see that going too poorly. I can't possibly see that going wrong, actually. Yeah, just sounds comfy. Alright, I guess we'll call it there. Thank you all for stopping by, hanging out, watching. Yeah, we're going to be doing more experimenting over the course of this GAC season, getting to know new teams, how the heck I'm going to use my mods, yeah, all sorts of stuff. We will be back shortly, or a couple days from now. And yeah, I don't know if I'll like stream my actual runs. It sounds like early response. It sounds like I'm not going to be too competitive. Whatever. I might end up having to like do this just to try to keep up, but even then I don't think I'm gonna be able to get top 10 because I guarantee there's at least 10 people who have like SLK and S in my guilds, no question. Yeah, this will be rough. Alright guys, peace out.